nigh unplayable. It's once again a revolting pile of garbage put into the landfill here, and I don't understand how you can even fumble this hard. Last night, 10,000 people tried to play on launch. Now it's a ghost town. Only 3 servers were available with 64 slots, so a total of about 200 players, which means you had better odds of making it into the NBA draft and getting selected than making it into one of these servers last night. The competition was fierce. You would have needed an actual Jedi-level midichlorian count to make it into this 200 exclusive slots available for this game. And if you didn't, you couldn't play the multiplayer, which is the main draw for the Battlefront class. There are more podcasts on YouTube than there are stars in the night sky. Everyone has been convinced that they're a unique, special little butterfly and that their insight is invaluable. And now that there's so much easy access to recording equipment, everyone gets this insidious little idea planted deep in their noodle that it's time to start a podcast. And my God, I tell you, it's a plague. It's a disease, a virus that's infecting the mind of the most insecure and insufferable people of all time. For some reason, once that AT 2020 touches their hand, they just scream their insecurity from the mountaintop with authority, proudly. And it blows my mind, but I've never seen insecurity projected quite like what I'm about to show you today. So I am still shocked that he hasn't scrubbed this podcast episode from the entire cyberspace, just wiped it from the internet. Like, if this was a clip of mine, I would have paid every penny I have to my name in order to ensure this never sees the light of day again, that this clip stays buried, like the fucking Millennium Puzzle from Yu-Gi-Oh! It is that embarrassing. Like, you couldn't lock me up in Guantanamo Bay and torture this clip out of me, and yet he still has it on his channel. So the podcast is like a bootleg Fresh and Fit, where they just get a bunch of women together and ask them stupid questions and then rate each other's beauty. And then he gets really offended, like visibly upset, and I really thought he was going to start bawling his eyes out, crying in the fetal position. And I've watched a couple of their episodes now because I was curious if this was like an isolated thing, but no, this is pretty common. This is like a staple in their show from what I can tell, where they just have this section where they ask the women that they bring on to rate their beauty, the rate the podcast host's beauty.
Listen, ladies, we're rating just off physical appearance, just off beauty, okay? Same standards. Trust me, we're not gonna get hurt, okay?
That's the biggest lie ever told since the time Kellogg's tried to convince the world that sugar doesn't make you fat. So, the segment is Rate Our Appearance, basically, which is some actual middle school, literal baby brain man-child behavior shit. That is insecurity at its finest, to have the women you bring on as guests rate your appearance. That's so stupid. I'm surprised they don't also play Spin the Bottle and Truth or Dare. And maybe they do, I've only watched a couple of their episodes, but he says that they're not going to get offended with the ratings. Well, do I have news for you?
All right, cool.
Stop being delusional.
What the fuck?
All right, so now what I want you to do is, ladies, real quick, don't fucking waste my time. Rate the guys. Do me a favor, Josh. Stand up real quick, man. Everybody look at him once, man. He's not going to stand up again, all right? So I want you to rate me, my co-host, and then our fucking producer. Go, from 1 to 10. Just off beauty. Go.
When he does these sections, it really seems like he's some kind of basketball coach who's really upset at the team. Like, he gets very aggressive with all of it. Like, don't waste my fucking time. Listen, we're gonna do the drill right now. We're gonna do it right. So, stand the fuck up, Josh. Look at him. Now, spin around, Josh. Okay, good. Drop your pants, Josh. Good. Now, rate everything you just saw. Now, don't waste my time. Like, I don't know why he gets, like, so upset even before they hear ratings. Like, he immediately goes into these sections combative. I watched the whole episode up until this point. Like, he's pretty blunt and like very much so most of the time, but when it gets to this one in particular, he's like angry. Like, even before anything happens, he's already angry.
Speak into the fucking mic.
I would rate you.
First you're rating me, and then him, and then him. Go.
I'll rate you a 7.
All right, what is he?
I'll rate you an 8,
All right.
and I'll rate Josh an 8 also.
Okay, what about you? Go.
I would rate you a 8,
Okay,
9.
okay. Come on, he just fucking stood up, bro. Like, come on.
I don't even know what he's getting upset with here. She only took like an extra 2 seconds to take another look at the guy. It's like he just lost a gold split in a speed run to this extra 2-second time loss. Like, it's not that big of a deal. I don't know why he's so on edge. It seems like he just really hates the guests that they bring on, because when he's talking to his boys, he's like much more jovial and joking and smiley, but the second the conversation shifts to the rest of the class here, like the group of women over there, he turns into like a drill sergeant and starts getting extremely serious and loud. So I don't know why they even bring on women to this podcast when they don't even really want them there. And I also don't know why women keep agreeing to go on shows like these, because half the time it's them just like saying, you're not good looking, and shit like that. Like, right after this rating section of rating the podcast hosts go through and rate all the women. And they literally give them 2s, 3s, and 4s. And make sure that they know that the hosts don't find them attractive. So I don't really get why women keep signing up for this shit just to get insulted by podcast hosts, and they don't say anything or do anything. Like, the women will insult each other sometimes, like, they don't ever push back against the hosts at all, so then they just walk away looking silly from all of it. Like, all of it is just a net loss for the women that go on these shows. I don't know why they keep doing it.
I would say 9.
All right. What about you over there? Go.
2.
Okay.
I would give him a 9.
Okay. What is she over there?
I would give him a 10 because
Okay.
he invited me.
All right. So again, you sound like a stupid ass bitch. I'm trying
Thank
to figure
you.
out why you rated me a 2, because we're not going off our interactions. We're going off beauty.
I don't
Right.
like
I don't give a fuck. He's light skinned just like me, and you just gave him a 9. You gave me a 2. You only gave me a 2 because of the whole interaction that we've been having, right? So do me a favor, get the fuck up and get the fuck out.
Thank you.
Yeah, get out.
Spoken like a man whose feelings weren't hurt at all and wasn't offended by the 2 rating. So he tries to justify it with, you only rated me a 2 because we had a disagreement earlier, which I guess they did, but even still, this is an extreme overreaction to getting rated a 2. The insecurity is palpable. You can fucking taste the salt here.
So what the fuck?
Stupid ass bitch. Make sure she gets her bag and phone too. Make sure she doesn't take the wrong fucking phone, dummy. All right, cool. So now, again,
You can actually hear that lump in his throat start to form from all the emotion building up inside of him. Get out of here, stupid bitch. Hey, make sure she grabs the right phone and not someone else's phone, because she's so dumb she probably won't know which one's her phone. Dumb idiot. She's real stupid. You're stupid. I'm a 2. No, you're a 2. Unsurprisingly, this turned their own community against them for the episode. A lot of the chat messages pop up on screen, so you're just seeing things popping up saying like, damn, just because she gave you a 2, what the fuck? Or something like this where it's like, thought you wanted your show to last. Like come on, man. It's because it's ridiculous. It's very clear temper tantrum over getting a 2. If you were someone that was actually getting pussy, if you were really slamming ham and glazing donuts, you wouldn't care if one girl didn't find you attractive or rejected you. You wouldn't care. You would laugh it off like a normal person. So one girl gives you a 2 and it shatters your whole ego and you publicly melt down about it? That's such a bad and embarrassing look. And he tries to justify it, like I said, by saying, she only gave me that 2 because of our negative interaction from moments ago. Just pure huffing of copium.
we're just going off physical beauty, okay? Not what we've been talking about, not my fucking arguments, not on none of that, okay? I want you to rate me, him, and then him. Go.
Can you stand up for a second?
You didn't see me before the show?
Yeah, but I just forgot.
I mean,
Just stand. It's not that hard. Okay. You're an 8.
God damn it, bro. Go ahead, rate him.
Podcast is now turned into like a hostage situation here. All the women seem on edge, and I actually just can't believe they didn't leave after that. Like, again, I don't understand why women keep signing up for this shit. Like, no one seems to be having any fun there. The hosts especially don't seem to be having any fun. This guy's co-host seems miserable, but he does liven up a little bit when he gets to rate the other women and gives them like 3s, 4s, and 5s and all that. But it's just so awkward and weird. The only explanation that I can come up with, the only rational way of explaining this, is that the reason women are signing up for this show or shows like it is because they're being paid for their time, so it's like an hourly wage just to go there and be insulted or bouncing stupid questions off of. That's the only thing that almost makes sense. Like, so they just come on here to play a game of grade my friend's appearance for 2.5 hours or whatever. I mean, really, someone summed up the situation really nicely in the comments. They said, podcast is called Unfiltered, yet kicks a girl out for her opinion. And that is just such a nice, concise way of breaking it down and the silliness of all of it. Again, I watched a couple episodes just to try and get like an understanding of the content. There's nothing there. Everyone seems miserable most of the time, or they bounce the dumbest questions around. They always just do a radar appearance thing, which, who wants to listen or watch that? Like, I as a viewer, let's say that I was a huge fan of this podcast. Why would I want to keep seeing what women say about my podcast hosts? Like, why would I care? There's nothing there. There's no entertainment there. Especially when one of them's super insecure about all of it, who's going to freak out if he doesn't get a 9. It just doesn't make any sense to me. So yeah, just wanted to talk about it a little bit. That's it. See ya.
Valentine's episode. That's right, I'm going to teach you guys. This is considered a guy episode, okay? I'm going to teach the guys how to make dinner for their ladies.
Only the boys. Group hug in the shower, boys.
I'm going to ask all the ladies to please not watch this episode, okay? Yep, turn it off.
All 4 women watching Cooking with Jack, can you please get the fuck out?
Okay, because if you're stupid. All right, guy tip number 1. Guys,
Jerk off before your date.
eat before you eat.
Well, that's a bad
You
idea.
know what I'm talking about. That's right. You're going to eat before you have dinner with your lady.
Have 5 scoopers of mayonnaise before you go on a date.
Do not make a dinner. Now, you don't have to do what I'm doing for dinner, but I'm giving you guys
I don't think anyone's gonna
Not
do what
making
you're
dinner.
doing for dinner.
that has,
A mayonnaise salad.
okay? Last thing you want to do is fill your lady up on Valentine's, all right?
Nah, that's what you want to be doing. Am I right, boys? Filling cooters for the boys. Am I right, Jack?
And the only people I think that should make dessert are people who aren't old enough to get in a car and drive their lady to a place to go have dessert. I honestly encourage
Children.
you, do not make dessert if you don't have to.
You beta male
Take her
cuck
out. Go for a
fucking
walk.
suck
Go grab an
ass
ice cream.
losers
Go grab a
making
candy
dessert
apple.
for your women.
Get a milkshake.
Give
Take
her a scoop
out
of
some
mayonnaise
for
if
dessert,
that lady's
right?
still
All right,
hungry.
let's talk,
That's the
talk
Jack
dessert.
way.
So, remember,
Isn't a cheesecake a fucking dessert though,
bake
Jack?
first. It's not cooked yet. It's dough. Preheat the oven 400 degrees.
Is a cheesecake not considered a dessert to Jack? It's an
Golden
appetizer.
brown, whatever you like. We're gonna cook this up right now. In the
Oh,
oven.
yum.
Bring it back out when it's done. Baked potatoes.
Oh, I thought that was the chicken.
You want done.
I've transmuted my salsa chicken into these 2 baked potatoes.
We'll start those about the time you put them. You put your chicken in the oven.
You're gonna want to put
Here's
both
how you
these
prep
up your
them.
butthole,
Wash your
let them
potatoes.
simmer, get the flavor.
Give her the
Take it
smaller
out,
of the two.
salsa,
Once again,
mayonnaise,
do not
bang.
fill her up. She's probably not gonna eat. And you're gonna gently poke holes all throughout the potato.
Oh, very gently, the hands of a surgeon. That's pretty shitty. Thanks for the prime, Dusty, but it ain't no Jack level of bad.
Bag of cheese, the whole entire 2 pounds, and you can dump it all in there. Don't be shy, it doesn't have to be pretty. All it has to do
Wow.
is taste good. It's going to taste delicious.
Wow.
Alrighty, then what you're going to do is you're
I mean, far be it for me to question the Bible study master, but that amount of
Right on
cheese
hand,
seems a
you're
bit
gonna wanna
excessive.
Have a little bit of milk, because if it isn't,
How do you even eat this thing? With your hands?
when you bake it,
Fucking spoon?
absorb the
Pitchfork?
liquid
How do you even attack this dish?
super dry. Spray all the way around so it
Who the
doesn't.
fuck wants soggy ass chips?
Small bag of cheese.
Oh, right,
Your
right.
toppings, cut the whole entire thing out.
Of course.
You can either use plain mozzarella and cheddar mix, or you can use what they call taco and nacho or Mexican blend. Either one.
What is that in total now? 3.5 pounds of cheese?
Or the Mexican blend. Just spread that over evenly so that every place.
Man, I wonder how many people are still left alive from her Bible study that she brings this
It's
to.
gonna be baked for one. Okay, now we're gonna.
Yeah, you
cut
know, I
it
won't
up.
lie, that doesn't look bad. But it's literally just cheese on
Okay,
cheese on
now we're
cheese with
gonna
a
cut
little
up
chip
big
somewhere in
ol'
there.
Healthy pea sour cream on the top. Delicious. In Spanish, we call this crema.
In Spanish, it's also still called heart attack.
All right, so let's give this a
Of
try.
course, Jack going in hot with the gluttony. I only saw 3.5 pounds of cheese on this, Jill. Are you sure you didn't mean to use my 10-pound bag of cheese? No. Little light on the cheese today, Jill. Can you get the fuck out of my house?
What do you think? Am I supposed to feed you?
What the fuck? Mozzarella
Am I gonna
and
feed
cheddar
you?
is not the same fucking thing as Mexican blend.
You're wrong, Spoonie. Who are you to question the mistress of cheese? The Cinderella of cheese. The Madame of mozzarella. The Enchantress of cheddar.
Put that in next. Okay? Now, obviously, in the heat, that's just going to all start melting.
Yeah, oh
It's
yeah.
going to be beautiful. Then
All
you
he
have
ever
the
makes is
pasta
tomato
right in on
cheese. Like, he just covers shit in tomato sauce and cheese.
that. Let's scoop that right out.
Sour cream?
Put that in there. And since I'm doing a double batch, I'm going to do double ricotta.
Oh, double ricotta.
Come on.
Super cheese, man. Yeah. Now it's looking like a Jack dish.
I need
If
one
there
of
ain't
those ravioli
15
nights.
pounds of 5 different cheeses, is it even really a cooking with
Mixed
Jack
in.
dish?
Really shiny. Okay? You're going to be tempted.
I've got this plate of asbestos
All
I'm gonna
this
dump
done.
in as well.
I'm telling you.
Help thicken it up a
Think
bit.
it's done.
Is that a Tampa Bay Buccaneers shirt?
I want you to try and guess what my favorite National Football League team is, okay?
the
This is
Boston
American football,
Scoremasters.
for those of you in other countries.
The
American football
Manhattan
team, what is my
Mayonnaise.
favorite team? And send that in, and we'll let you know who the
The
first
California
person is with the right
cheese
answer. Okay,
cheeses.
let's answer a few questions.
know.
First
Any of those,
all.
Jack?
Open
The
bottle.
Detroit
Grab one.
Sharks.
The open bottle.
The Minnesota Mayo.
So I got on the phone.
It's time for viewer mail.
Jack, my son died from your food.
Then, Anime Freak Forever, thank you for writing. I used to call my van the Ribmobile, but honestly, he thinks it should be called the Saucemobile. So I'm officially changing
Thanks,
my
Anime
van
Freak.
to be, is Wow Death Knighting. Wow Death Knighting.
Man, this guy's got the
Looking right
gamers
here.
and the
Take
weebs
rice
on his
off the
side.
Bottom up. Now, some of you may claim this to be like quesadillas. Whatever. Send the emails. Tell me they're quesadillas. That's fine. But I know one thing. I don't put butter in my quesadilla. So we called these cheese crisps. I used to make these when I was a little boy. Thing you want to do is
Puts butter in a quesadilla.
and dice that. So we're gonna flip it.
Why is he calling this a cheese crisp? It's just a fucking
Brown the other side
quesadilla.
just like this.
A
Got a
shittily
hard
made
exterior now.
butter-only
What?
quesadilla.
Called cheese crisp.
That's like the
You put 2 or
Simpsons
3 of those on
steamed
a plate.
hams.
You pour a little bit of your favorite salsa in a bowl.
It's a fucking quesadilla. Voila.
And then you're just gonna douse it with your favorite salsa. Check this out. This isn't even my salsa, but it says
I stole
Jack's special salsa. Isn't that crack you up? But it's somebody else.
Stole this from a local
All right,
gas
and then you're gonna
station.
Pour this on there.
They never caught me.
Don't worry about the water. Let it all come on top right there. Now what's gonna happen is
Didn't taste like shit. That's what's gonna happen.
crackers cover it like that. Looks gross.
It must be so easy to cook for
guys,
Jack as his wife.
This is
Alright, what do we have in the dumpster?
over.
Yeah, Jack will eat it.
Don't take your cracker.
I'll put it on a
and
plate and tell him to dip a wheat thin in it.
Get company over. Grab one of these. 100 coming, and I don't know what I'm going to do for my 100th episode. So
I'm gonna chug 15 jars of mayonnaise.
got a call from a company called Blue Bison. That's right. You can go to their website.
This fucking guy's getting brand
They asked me,
new.
they said, hey, Jack.
Hey, can you make something gross with our food? That makes people never want to order our food? Isn't that a dog food brand?
Blue Bison has less cholesterol than chicken, beef, and
I got a call from a weird company called Pedigree.
that is
They were asking me if I've heard of
So anyway,
beef
I asked if I
chunks
wanted
and
to go
kibble.
I did.
I said no, but can I put mayonnaise on it? They said yeah, so let's make a kibble dish. I don't know what it is about chairs that compels people to constantly reinvent them by creating these batshit insane ideas one after another. It seems every month there's a new horrible chair design. Ah, this one's made out of sawdust. You sit on it and it'll help your posture and also reduce body odor and combat swamp ass. I just made a video on a shitty chair design not too long ago, and now there's an even shittier design. It's just crazy the rate at which these awful chairs are being produced. So this is the anti-man-spreading chair, and Mashable says it's absolutely brilliant. So if Mashable says it's brilliant, it's probably the dumbest fucking thing you've ever seen. It's basically a timeout chair for middle school. I'm surprised they don't put a dunce hat on the guy that sits in that. Just look at the way he's sitting. He looks depressed. He looks very scared, shy, like he's about to get beaten by his wife over there. Banging his knees together and his balls are fucking constricted, and if he moves around it's gonna be like a Newton cradle in his nutsack. This is just not a very comfortable sitting position for most men. If you took his pants off right there, it'd be looking like Homer Simpson strangling Bart Simpson if Bart Simpson was his nutsack. The testicles need room, and the sack needs room, otherwise everything gets strangled and uncomfortable. That being said, the men that flail out their legs are obvious douchebag assholes, but it's not just a man problem. Women do that same thing too. It's not exclusive to one of the genders. Anyone can spread their legs out, taking up way too much space. I don't know why all of a sudden it's been named after men. It happens for all genders. How socially inept are people these days? This isn't a solution to anything. The solution for someone taking up too much room is politely asking them, hey, can you scoot over a little bit or not take up this much room? A conversation with someone is typically enough. Unless you're squaring off with fucking Cobra Commander from G.I. Joe who happens to be man-spreading on your subway, then yeah, maybe he won't budge, but most people aren't opposed to moving their legs a little closer together if you nicely ask them to. But to say they need to curl up into a fucking fetal position little ball sitting down like this chair makes them, that's not exactly considerate because that's super uncomfortable. The nutsack needs a little bit of room, which is why the legs typically get spread out a little bit. You see, if I saw a dude sitting like this with his hands on his knees and shit like this, I'd assume that he's hiding something from me, like he's concealing a deadly weapon down there that he intends to use. It's a suspicious-looking posture in seated position for most men. All curled over like that, looking all proper like they're at the bottom of the pyramid on a cheerleading team, it just doesn't make sense because no one's gonna willingly sit like that because it is uncomfortable. And also, this chair doesn't help with the issue of spreading your legs too far, both men and women, because you can just rest your legs on top of it. It's not that high, unless it's coated with barbed wire and broken glass. It's not going to hurt you that much. It's just it's a useless invention. I don't know if they plan on selling this. I didn't bother looking into it more. I imagine they will try and sell this as like a novelty chair for someone who thinks they're fighting some noble fight against the man-spreading menace, the epidemic of legs spread out too far. But it's still, no matter what, even as just a one-off thing, just a fucking dumb idea. And this is where I get totally lost on what their idea is here. They make the kryptonite to their own chair with a man-spreading chair that teaches you to spread out further than you need to. I don't know why they say only women can use it. I don't see some type of biometric lock on it that's going to prevent a man from sitting on that chair and spreading out. And I don't know why you'd be teaching people to spread out if what you're trying to stop is the spreading out. I guess they just want the women to be the one to spread out, which I don't fucking get at all. If I was a woman, I would be genuinely offended and insulted that this product exists because it treats women like they're too fucking stupid to know how to spread out. So instead they're gonna charge you money to buy this chair, to put a little fucking wood block where your vagina is, so that way you spread your legs out. Fucking charging you money for man-spreading training wheels. It's embarrassing. I just really don't get it. Again, I don't know if this is something they're trying to sell or not, but my god, even the fact that they invented these two prototypes is just insanity. Just straight fucking lunacy. You don't say. I mean, it won't even act as a band-aid on the problem. And it's not a problem in the first place, it's an imaginary problem. There's not some type of fucking pandemic sweeping the world where men are spreading their legs out across the entire fucking row of chairs or across the whole subway doing full-length splits. You can ask someone to scoot their legs in closer if you need the space. I don't think there's going to be many people that are rolling up their sleeves ready to fight you because you asked them to scoot their legs a little closer in. It's fucking ridiculous. And also, Mashable sucks. I hate this trend where they bold random letters, so they bolded forever and man-spreading. It's like they're subliminally trying to send me a message telling me to keep man-spreading forever. It's not a problem faced by only women. In fact, it's not a problem faced by many people at all, but it's not exclusive to women when there's someone spreading their legs too far. That affects anyone that wants to sit around the area. Yep, just absolute garbage, but hats off to anyone that wants to pay for some of these bad boys. You know, maybe I'm wrong and this will catch on huge and I'll be going to a restaurant and I'll have to ask to order the man-spread-proof booster seat. Or I'll have to take like a driver's ed course of man spreading, learning the proper ways of sitting using these chairs. It's just an unbelievably ridiculous idea for a product and just a big old pile of shit. That's about it. See ya. I recommend the Patrick CC video I made about Drake and Josh. I've actually been meaning to watch that. Thank you for reminding me. This keeps hitting my YouTube recommended, and I've really wanted to check it out. I don't know the whole history between Drake and Josh, but I think, like everyone else, I believe they were good friends off air. But it seems like that was never really the case.
Kel, while filming
That's a
one of
good
the
point,
last
Trey.
episodes of the season where Drake and Josh fight over a shrimp, Stephen Malaro, who was a writer on The Amanda Show, walked over to Dan and was like, "Those two guys are your buddy comedy right there."
God, Dan Schneider's such a fucking creepy guy. Good lord. I'm surprised he didn't pitch Dan on like a foot-centric TV show. What is Dan doing now? I know he's fired from Nickelodeon, but what is he currently doing? Does anyone know off the top of your head? I can look it up, but I'd rather just see chat's fan theories, I guess. Someone has to know. OnlyFans? Nah, I doubt that. Oh, maybe like subscribing to every OnlyFans ever. Possibly. Yeah, he got fired from Well, I don't even know if he got fired. He left Nickelodeon. Dan was already making a foot-centric show called iCarly. Fucking true. Running a foot massage parlor in Thailand. So no one knows what Dan Schneider's doing? I'll look it up myself, I suppose. What are you up to, Dan? Dan Schneider controversy about verbal abuse and maltreatment of young actors. This is brand new. Is he still under investigation? Oh man, anyone remember this theory? I highly doubt this was ever true. But when Zoe Spears got pregnant and had to leave Zoe 101 shortly thereafter, the rumor was that it was Dan Schneider's kid. And there's like a whole bunch of like crazy fan theories on how that was possible and why that was likely. Or Jamie Lynn Spears, sorry. Zoe 101, Jamie Lynn Spears, whatever. You know what I'm saying. Yeah, that shit was crazy. Deadline reported in July 2021, an investigation by Viacom discovered that Schneider was allegedly yelling at young performers, throwing tantrums, and sending angry emails and texts to them outside of working hours. He apparently requested massages for his shoulders and neck as well from the kids. That definitely sounds like Dan Schneider. Producer tells New York Times via People that he never dealt with performers in any way, texting or otherwise, that should make anyone uncomfortable. When someone says that, that just makes me uncomfortable. That makes me think that you were doing something that would make me uncomfortable. A number of well-known performers, including some who are underage, had expressed their displeasure with the uproar surrounding the photos of their feet. I couldn't and I wouldn't have the friendships and loyalties of so many individuals of good standing, he explained. Yeah, the feet pics were really weird. Early on in Twitter's infancy, he ran this Twitter campaign to have kids send pictures of their feet. It was like an iCarly thing, but they were sending the feet pics to Dan for some reason. Dan was described by former co-workers as demanding and vindictive. In addition to interviewing Dan Schneider's producer, the New York Times spoke to people from Schneider's history. Schneider and Gradstein worked on 4 shows together, and Gradstein remembers how stressful their cooperation was. He could be generous and affirming, and it was wonderful to be in the presence of his talent and passion for making entertainment. His demands were unnecessarily high, and his control and demeaning demeanor, wow, lacked restraint or business etiquette. Does anyone remember if, what's her name? Is her name Jeanette McCurdy? Might have been, from iCarly. She quit acting altogether because her mom was apparently very awful, like very controlling. And Tiana told me the other day that Jeanette McCurdy even had like a song or a book or something called "I'm Glad My Mom Died" or something fucking intense like that. I'm getting off topic, but does anyone remember if she said Dan Schneider was good or bad? Because she said something about Dan Schneider, and I don't remember if it was positive or negative. Does anyone remember? Bad for sure. For some reason, I believe she said that it was something positive with Dan. I'm just gonna look it up myself. Oh my god, that's Dan? Wow, this is... Whoa. That is absolutely someone that would have turned up to like a Chris Hansen investigation. This is... Who is this? Oh, this isn't Dan. Wait, what? Who is this? Oh god. Oh no. Oh, he looks like Dan in a disguise. Oh shit. It is Dan? Oh fuck. I'm just gonna double check myself. It can be remembered that in 2013 she shared a Vine video addressed to Schneider, which some say was a cry for help. McCurdy ended that post with, "Look what you've done to me. Look what you've done to me." I don't remember that. In 2014, and what other things was a rebuke, she and Cosgrove did not attend the 2014 Kids' Choice Awards when Schneider was the recipient of a Lifetime Achievement Award. In 2019, she opened up about her eating disorder, which started when she was 11. There are no direct statements towards Schneider's role in any of the issues, so fans continued to speculate. So did she not? I thought for sure she said something about Dan, and I really felt like she said something positive about him.
The first season was a little more typical to any sitcom, coming up with catchphrases and basic plot lines. Luckily, the show got much better after season 1. They consistently got themselves in ridiculous situations and had to either work together or against.
Man, I remember like all of this shit.
With a master plan to sell Gary Coleman grills, which got them in jail, versus when they were fighting each other over a foam finger. In the beginning,
where's the GameCube? Jesus.
Drake, on the other hand, would
Look, was it the Hypercube? Not the GameCube, that was real.
He wouldn't stand up for his brother Josh.
GameSphere, thanks.
His character remained the inconsiderate troublemaker, but now Josh was having more luck with girls.
I didn't remember him getting so old in the show.
Ultimately, at the end of every episode, they resolved their differences and concluded with a happy moment. These two just understood each other when it came to performing. Drake and Josh were the new age Bob Hope and Bing Crosby, Abbott and Costello, Martin and Lewis, Cheech and Chong, Keenan and Kel. They were so good it made us all believe that they were best friends beyond the screen, who had no way of showing Drake and Josh how much they loved the show. A lot of us forget that in
Twitter.
2005 there was barely any social media, no smartphones, no YouTube, no live
What a
streams,
shithole.
follower accounts. They worked a 9 to 5 while other kids went to school, and they went home to their families every day just like anyone else. These two just did what most normal teens do. Go to parties, hang out with girls, maybe get in some trouble. Well, at least Drake. Josh wasn't partying much. Josh was actually going through some really tough times. Josh Peck was raised by a single mother. He actually never met his father. He was always interested in being an entertainer, doing stand-up comedy at the age of 9 years old because anything athletic was
Holy
definitely
shit.
out of the question. However, he always wanted to fit in. Being an
The confidence to do stand-up comedy in general is outrageous. I can't even imagine as a kid. Well, actually, it might be easier as a kid, because what asshole's gonna start heckling a kid? You get a 9-year-old up on stage at the Laugh Factory. I don't think you're gonna have like some guy booing and throwing cocktails at him or anything. So maybe that really helps with confidence. I don't know. But stand-up comedy's got to be like one of the scariest things to do for a human being. To put yourself up there and just potentially bomb in front of that many people has to be the most embarrassing feeling ever. I couldn't imagine that shit, especially not as like a kid.
He was known as the fat, funny punching bag, who brought way more comedic value to the scene. When we watch these old episodes, we feel happy. Josh sees an underappreciated, depressed, overweight, and insecure child.
Oh man, is that a... I do this all the fucking time. I point at the computer screen as if you guys can see what the fuck I'm pointing at. This is from that movie where he's on that boat, and he just starts like insulting that kid, right? And he's like, your dad sucks. Your dad's a real piece of shit. Your dad's dead. Your dad's fucking awful. I fucking hate you. Your dad's awful. Yeah, Mean Creek. That clip was iconic. Yeah, and he even drops a slur.